Okay, thanks everyone for joining us for this pre-match press conference ahead of New Zealand versus Sri Lanka to be held at the SCG tomorrow. We have press in the room here at the Sydney Cricket Ground and also press joining us via Zoom. We'll be taking questions from the room first and then going over to Zoom for your questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. So we'll start with Andrew, please.
Thanks. Hey, Tim, I know this is a very kind of short, sharp tournament once it gets going, but any feeling that the washout might have taken the wind out your sails a bit after such a convincing performance here against Australia a few days ago?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously the nature of weather, you can't control that. So, it would have been nice to have another game. Feels like it's been a while since we played the opening game. But no, the guys are excited, refreshed and looking forward to a big day's training and getting into it again tomorrow.
Can I just ask a slightly wider one about your pairing with Trent? You're clearly sort of an iconic duo in New Zealand and world cricket, but we know the decision Trent has made about his contract going forward, and that might impact his selection going forward. When you and him get to a world event, or you particularly get to a world event like this, do you ever think, oh, how many more times am I going to get to do this with Trent? And I want to make sure I savor moments like the other night against Australia and what's coming up, because you maybe don't know how long this pairing will last now?
I guess the future's unknown. We've played a lot of cricket together, from under-19 World Cups to domestic cricket to domestic age group cricket, and then for the last 10 or so years, all three formats for New Zealand. So, yeah, it's been pretty special. I guess all good things come to an end at some stage. And, yeah, hopefully it's not the end and not the last world event that we're a part of together. So, yeah, we're unsure what that may look like going forward, but yeah, we do certainly cherish every game we get to play together, and hopefully there's still a few more, obviously this tournament and going beyond.
Just if I can ask one about you as well, you went top of the leading wicket takers in T20Is the other day against Australia. I imagine over the length of the career you've had, there's been lots of things you've developed over the years, but can you just sum up how you've changed as a T20 bowler over those years and sort of how you see yourself now compared to maybe where you were maybe 7-8 years ago? Yeah,
I guess if you're going to last a long time in the game, you have to change with the times, and I think the game's ever changing. It's batters are discovering new shots, hitting different areas, and bowlers are trying to stay ahead as well. So I think just trying to learn new skills. I guess the experience you have of playing for such a long period of time, you learn and you adapt to different conditions, having played in various parts around the world. So I think just trying to get better, continue trying to learn at different ways that you can do things. But I think just the experience you have and have banked over the years as well helps. But yeah, certainly. Having to change with the game, because it does move at such a quick rate, and if you don't move with it, then I guess you get left behind.
Sri Lanka packed with some good spinners, Asaranga, Theekshana, Dhananjay. Any specific plan for those spinners?
Yeah, we know Sri Lanka's a dangerous side. They always pose a big threat, and spin's been a massive part of their game and a strength of theirs. So yeah, unsure how this wicket will play. I presume it's a new one, and yeah, so hopefully our guys have faced plenty of spin and plenty of good spinners over the years as well. So yeah, it should be a good game.
The preparation for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, it's been a while. Obviously, the washout in Melbourne, and then hopefully a good training today, and then yeah, the guys are excited. Feels like I said earlier, feels like it's been a while since we played, but we've had a couple of good trainings in between. So yeah, guys are just looking forward to getting back out on the park.
Is it an advantage to come back to a ground where you've already had a game?
Yeah, I guess so. Guys come back and have, I guess, fond memories of the last game here. But we know it's a new challenge, different opposition, different wicket. So yeah, it's always nice when you come back to a ground where you've had fond memories. But we know that it's a completely different challenge in playing Sri Lanka as it is to playing Australia.
Those online back in New Zealand, if you want to put your hand up for a question. We don't currently have any hands up, but just a couple of quick ones from me, Tim. You've obviously been watching the rest of the tournament. What have you made of some of the results and some of, I suppose, the perceived upsets?
Yeah, there's been plenty happen over the last couple of weeks in the early stages of the tournament, and then obviously we saw last night with Zimbabwe getting up as well. So yeah, it's I guess it's great for the tournament. It shows you the nature of this format is that that anyone can beat anyone, and yeah, it's just setting up for an exciting couple of weeks.
And just a quick comment on Daryl Mitchell, who we understand is fit and available.
Yep, I think Daryl's come through all the tests he needs to come through from obviously suffering a broken hand a few weeks back. So yeah, I think he comes back in for the side tomorrow.
And we've got someone online from TVNZ. I will throw to you, if I can unmute you.
Hey Tim, Guy here, mate. Just about those results that I suppose haven't gone as many had have scripted. You've obviously still got this game against Sri Lanka, who haven't been going that well recently, and Ireland as well, who many would term a lesser light in cricket, quote unquote. But does that, the results that have gone so far in the tournament, does it make these two games, I suppose, does it make you even more focused on them and even more determined to not slip up like some of the other teams?
Yeah, I guess that's the beauty of sport is that and we've seen in the nature of this tournament, anyone can beat anyone. Ireland beating England, I guess, who are probably the tournament favourites leading into this tournament, just shows you how, and especially in T20 cricket, that on their day everyone poses different threats. So we know that we have to be on our toes in every single game we play. The nature of this tournament, you can't really afford to have too many slip-ups. So, yeah, the T20 cricket, I think it brings the sides closer together, and we've seen throughout this tournament a number of upsets already. So, yeah, I think every game is vitally important.
Okay, unless there's anyone else online. Oh, yeah, Nasha in the room.
Just to follow up on the Daryl Mitchell, sounds like he's fit. Does that, I know you're not a selector, but does that leave a tricky decision given how well you played in that first game? And I guess someone like Glenn Phillips, who might be the either-or selection, showed what value he can add in the field. He's almost worth selecting for his fielding alone.
Yeah, I don't think Glenn. I think it's probably Mark Chapman, the one that's I guess the unlucky one who came in for Daryl in the Tri Series and against Bangladesh and Pakistan. So yeah, Glenn's been phenomenal for us for the last wee while as well, but both in the field and then adding, I guess, valuable runs at a reasonable rate when he bats. So yeah, that's unlucky, I guess, for Mark Chapman, who hasn't really done anything wrong. But I think the way that Daryl, he's a valuable member of the side, and he's done well for us. So yeah, it's now he's fit and ready. He just comes back in and will slot back in there.
All right, thanks very much, everyone. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. No worries.